in Whitelux today. I didn't know the disaster ferry drove around in the daylight, but we're on our way to the tip with some rubbish from one of my jobs, and Brian's going to accommodate us and meet up with us so I can get that diff centre off him. And Sydney's turned on this weather again, but of course it has. The kids had a point scoring motorbike competition round this weekend. Our rendezvous point, and Brian's in Redlux and Whitelux together. Same. There's my baby. How's that for an exchange? Check out that flange. The 29 spline multi-fit flange, because the nitro gears are a 29 spline. Now the reason we couldn't just drill the new holes to suit the 80 series uni is because the diameter of this flange is too small. You can see here Brian's painted the old flange profile onto it, and you can see how much bigger this one is. Now with this very important parcel strapped in, the only thing stopping us putting it all together, once I saw that the CVs weren't in tip-top condition anymore, I got Cameron from Roadrunner Off-Road to send me up another kit, another superset kit, Longfields axles, hub gears. So we're waiting on that. I realised the reason why the CVs and axles were so hard to get out is I've got a bent housing. At least now if I put new ones in, I'm not likely to break them anytime soon. Alright, so fingers crossed that the postman's been. Oh yeah, and they're the new signs that Brad from Outback Signs, Brad and Min did for me. How good do they look? They also made me up some stickers for the URC series. 49's our number for the year. Alright, let's see. Happy days. That box looks long enough for CV joints. Oh, what's this box? That's from Roadrunner too. Check it out, trail gear and a kit. So it's not just CVs they sent up, they've sent up a whole kit. How good are great sponsors, I continue to say it. Oh, the axle seals too. Hub gears, C-clips. So these are the chromoly hub gears, and they're the bad boys there. Long side axle, short side axle. Right, nothing's stopping us now. So we got more spare Longfields. I've got Longfields in the 4Runner, I've got Longfields in the dual cab. Definitely the CV of choice for what we do. Oh, this is the side plate for the winch. That's awesome. So we can put that back together like it was brand new. Oh, that's excellent. So that's what we damaged. Beautiful. All right, we won't worry about that job right now. What I've decided to do with that winch, once we fix it and make it basically new again, so I'm going to put it in the dual cab. So when we did that big trip and we towed the caravan up all the hills in this thing and we needed to use the winch, we wondered, Phil and I, why it was so quick. Then we worked out it's a 12,000 pound. So I'm going to take that one out and I'm going to put that in the portaled 79 once it's done. 12,000 pounds, good enough for a 3-ton cruiser. It's pretty early and it's raining, but we're here at Bullet Trucks Garage and I want to try and get that center in before I get back home for the kids waking up and getting them to school. At least that's one little job I can tick off the list. And also, just for the record, I'm not checking Brian's work, but I'm going to plumb in the airline to the center before I actually bolt it in, just to make sure we don't have any air leaks. It's funny, you know, over the last 2 years with all the COVID restrictions and no events running, we had homeschooling, we had lockdowns. We did a lot of social wheeling over the last couple of years. Social mentality is, if it's good enough, it'll get us back on the trailer. Whereas the comp mentality is, it's got to be perfect, it's got to be spot on, it's got to be 100% before it goes on the trailer. Then whatever happens at the competition, well, it doesn't matter, because we can fix it when we get home. Total different mentality. Knowing the center's in, there's no air leaks. Really the easy part left to do, as long as I can get those axles in easily enough. It's still early, it's still dark, and it's still raining. But at least I can get home now, before the kids wake up, have brekkie with them, take them to school. I got back here later that day, after I got all my work sorted out, before school pickup. So first job was a C-clip on the end of the axle. Then we knocked the CV onto the axle until we feel the click. So that click is the C-clip fitting into a groove inside the bell of the CV. I like to fill the void between the knuckle and the actual bell on the housing with some moly grease. And here we've got the Penrite CV grease. Question is, how much grief is this bent housing going to give me? Even though I made clearance for the CV itself, once the axle goes on, it is tight with the bent housing. I think we're in. Beautiful. I've been stressing about putting these CVs in, but I'm not going to say it was easy yet. All right, another little test to make sure that that locker works is I'll engage it and then spin that axle like I have been, and we should see that flange turn. Very hard to turn, isn't it? So it's definitely locked. Brian's left his tools in the crate, or I took the crate by mistake. That was very handy that I accidentally took that. So what we're looking for now, I can turn this by hand. It's just because I've got slippery hands and I don't have enough leverage on that, but we can see that axle moving. So it's all good. Just my OCD kicking in, Brian. I wasn't doubting you at all, not 1 minute. These two surfaces have never spoken to each other before, so I've put a bit of gasket goo on the spindle just to help with sticking. I'm sure it's going to be fine, but I'd hate to see oil coming out of there or weeping. Well, let's see how these calipers bolt up. Lines up perfect. Geez, we were lucky to get these knuckles. And they'd never been used, so you know, all your threads were still as they come out of the foundries, and amazing. I'm just worried about the depth of that caliper bolt. There's clearance there on this cable tie between the back of the disc ever so slightly. There's no marks as I rotate it to show me that we're hitting. I stuck a bit of grease down there. There's no noise, so just something I'm gonna have to keep an eye on. I might have to cut those caliper bolts down. That's all we have time for on Bullet Truck at the moment. Got a fair bit on this weekend. Big point scoring day for the kids tomorrow. So I've been working on the bikes, getting them ready for scrutineering. And a couple hours later, they're both good to go. 395 and 110. Watch out for them tomorrow. We'll have a quick couple of minute look at some of the kids' heats. No, Nicholas forgot to put it in gear. So I was marshalling way out on the other side of the course. So I was no help to the kids at the start. So by the first corner, he's made up a spot. It's okay, little mate, be patient. You got 3 laps. After the first lap, he's in second place. Go, buddy. Nicholas held second after that terrible start. And now Millie lines up for her first race. Perfect start and held first for the whole race. Well done, Missy. They had 6 races each throughout the day. And on race 3, they were in the same heat. This only happened once throughout the day. Look out. Whoa, take it easy, Nicholas. They both got a great start, and Nicholas took the lead on the first lap and looked like nothing was going to stop him. Mum missed this last bit, but just as Nicholas was about to lap the last bike, that bike had a bit of a tumble and Nicholas couldn't work out how to get round him. And Millie, who was in second place, basically went around the 2 and straight into the checkered flag. Nicholas was getting good at his starts and he led this race too, until this disaster. What happened, mate? You came off the jump. I can't believe it. You're all good? Bike's all good? Let's get back to the pits. On the bike after that incident. You're doing really good. Really proud of you. Nicholas was a bit upset after he came off that berm. And I think he was a little bit winded, but he was more upset that he lost that race after being in the lead. After a good start, he's taken the lead. This next race for him was quite important. I had a bit of a pep talk with him, and it was really important to see how he recovers. Congratulations, after that stack, you got first again. Well done. And there's 2 more rounds to go, one this weekend, and unfortunately there's going to be a final round on the same weekend as URC, but the kids did great. Nicholas got 2 firsts, 3 seconds, and then that DNF, and Amelia got 2 firsts, 3 seconds, and a third. 9, 6, and 3 is the format for points. First place 9, second place 6, third place 3. Nicholas is 3 points behind Millie. So they'll be up the pointing end of the leaderboard. Bit more bullet truck now. Brian, I must have one of those tools. I love it. I think it could be on par with the best spanner in the world that we made. Another thing Brian's taught me over the years is custom means does not fit. Have a look at that flange. So it's the multi-fit 29 spline, suits both the cruiser patterns, and then in case we need to run a Hilux shaft, he's drilled the holes for a 60 by 60. But all in all, this last lot of mods, I've enjoyed it. It wasn't painful at all. I actually took my time. So bullet's almost ready, just waiting on that shaft. And I wasn't sweating on being at an event in 3 days time or something like that. Brian did the diff up. I'm gonna make a video just of his diff build. I hope you enjoyed this episode and a little bit of the kids motorbike riding. And as always, thanks for watching.